Hey y'all, what's up? I'm Taryn. Let's get into this episode of The Never Met Season 2, Episode 4. So it opens up with the guys talking or whatever in the morning, and Cinco, he actually says that communication is really all their issue.
Communication is literally everybody's issue.
And you know, that's the funny thing is that Cinco is saying that, and really, Cinco and Jay are the only couple that we don't hear nothing from. Like, they're the only ones I can see leaving the house, like, together. They're the only ones who are vibing, who ain't got nothing really going on. They just chilling. I mean, it was appropriate, it coming from him, saying that communication is really everyone's problem. I'll give him that. Because all these niggas is lying. All of them is lying. So we see Tati is talking to some of the other castmates, or it's a girl, well, it's some of the other castmates, talking about that she thinks Clevassier is lying about what he's eating.
Because yesterday I seen him scarfing down some beef taquitos and then tried to lie to me about it.
Because if y'all saw the first episode, Tati mentioned to him that she's vegan, and he said, oh, you know, I can eat vegan, but she's kind of just like, oh, no, it's okay, you don't have to, you know, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the edits go to him eating meat on top of meat. He eating all types of meat. Like, just like going in.
Chicken, turkey, ham, bacon,
all of the
Swiss
things.
cheese, mayo.
That's crazy.
I use the bacon grease to do the bread, to toast the bread.
Yeah, he went all the way in.
Yeah.
Like,
And
ew.
I was wondering why he was sweating. It's all making sense. That's why I thought he wasn't vegan no more.
Because he's not.
Like, hiding it behind her back, but he's saying that he's vegan now, or wants to go vegan, but he's lying about what he's eating. Like, why are you lying about what you eating? You a grown man, you eat whatever you want. Plus, she said you ain't gotta be vegan. Like, this is a prime example. I'm telling you, like, disrespect and dishonesty just be hardwired in these dudes these days. And I just thought to myself too, Clevassier, I believe he's only 28, which definitely is not an excuse, but it's just kind of like, okay, you young and dumb. But I'm just like, you just over here lying just to be lying. Like, you just lying. You know how some dudes, they just say, like, you know, some girl might ask a question, they assume like, oh, I gotta say yes because for her to like me, you know. So that's what it's giving. Like, you just saying yes, you telling her what you think she wants to hear, what you think she wants to hear. Really, she don't give a fuck. She don't care. You can eat whatever the fuck you want. Like, come on, which is stupid. So later on, we see Jamie Foxx and Charlie talking about, you know, the boom boom room or / the intimacy suite. And he's basically like, you know, I'm ready whenever you're ready. You know, you're gonna have to, you know, give the green light, blah, blah, blah.
Then we should probably book that suite tonight.
And I'm not even surprised. Like, she just comes on. I'm not slut shaming or anything, but I'm just kind of like, I'm just thinking about the fact that this dude said all this other stuff last night. Girl, I'm just not surprised. I'm gonna just say that. We then go to Kiki and Brandon. They're outside, you know, on the lawn chairs near the pool. And then we also see that Alicia is kind of nearby. You can't really tell how close she is, but she can obviously hear them. Anyway, so they're still talking about the night before, arguing about, you know, how she didn't help him cook, and even still about, you know, the alcohol, drinking that alcohol. And she's like, you know, you're not my damn daddy. I can monitor my intake, you know, all this stuff going back and forth.
I definitely think Brandon is controlling, and we never had that problem online.
So while Brandon and Kiki are arguing, Brandon, you know, he's finishing his food, whatever, he kind of just gets up and leaves while she's still talking and goes in the kitchen. And then when he goes in the kitchen, he starts talking, you know, basically telling the other castmates in the kitchen what just happened, just talking about his issues with Kiki, right? And then Alicia, she kind of, you know, goes in afterwards. Kiki is still outside, and she comes in afterwards and is like,
I don't know what y'all talking about in here, but you need to have a conversation with Kiki. It's draining me.
you know, she's telling him, oh, don't come in here and start talking to people about your relationship. You need to go out there and talk to her. And I'm thinking to myself, like, girl, what are you doing? What is you doing? Like, that was just weird. It was so weird. Like, she's annoying. Like, I could really put myself in Brandon's position and like this girl coming at, like, girl, what? She is hella annoying. Like, what? Girl, what? So Brandon is like, you know, hold on. You don't need to be talking about our relationship. You need to be talking, you know, talking to your dude. You don't need to be talking, you know, about ours. You have no place for that, you know, like, at all. And I don't know, it's something like a switch like goes off in her mind. She's like, okay, you right. You know, I was wrong, but it's none of my business. I'm like, I don't know. It was just weird. It was very weird. And she's annoying. Anyway, so of course Brandon gonna go tell Irvin what Alicia just did. And of course, Irvin, he's gonna believe Brandon, which I mean, she just did. But of course, he's not gonna have her back or anything. But granted, you know, he really shouldn't, because she was wrong on that part. She was definitely wrong. But seeing that obviously these past history of them having these arguments, Irvin and Alicia, him not having her back at all, especially when Ty was yelling at her, I'm just like, But this definitely was the time for him to not put her in a place but say, hey, you're wrong, which he did end up telling her. But anyway, he's of course like, oh yeah, she's too aggressive, you know, I know she's a problem. Whatever, that's basically all he said.
The only thing I've done today is mind my business today.
And I'm like, girl, what? I don't know what's going on with these people. No, everything you did was not, no. No. If you did do anything, it was not minding your business. Like, I don't even know. I don't know what be going on up here. I have no idea. Anyway, so that's reference to an argument between Irvin and Alicia. You know, he tells her to chill, blah, blah, blah. And then somehow this girl starts talking in tongues.
Yeah, I just have to pray for a moment because
And I'm like, what is wrong with her? I don't even know. She's weird. She's very weird. She's very odd. They should have broke up right there and then, like, for real. It was a mess. Later on, Kiki and Brandon, they have a therapy session. It isn't with Dr. Wendy this time. I think it's with a different doctor. They have a therapy session, and Brandon reveals that he has past trauma with alcohol. Just like I thought. Like, I was like, because he's just too... He's just going too hard in on this alcohol thing with Kiki.
My mom, ex-husband, he always came home drinking.
But anyway, we learned that, you know, he had family situations dealing with alcoholism, you know, and they affected him as he was younger, and, you know, he just didn't want to have to deal with that moving forward, which is understandable. But this is why he's been so hard, going so hard on Kiki, you know, about, you know, identifying her alcoholism, not being in denial, I guess, and, you know, basically saying asking if she has an issue with alcohol. So Kiki hears that, and she's saying that she understands, but she says this is not that. And then at one point, the doctor Allie, that's her name, she even asks, like, okay, you know, how many drinks do you guys have, you know, typically, you know, going out or whatever? And Brandon is like, you know, I have like maybe 3, you know, which is standard, like that's kind of average, 3. And then Kiki go on and talk about like, oh, she has 4 drinks, but wait, that'll include like 3 extra shots and this and that, you know. And Dr. Allie is like, okay, well, you know, Brandon is pretty standard, but over drinking, binge drinking is what, like 4 or 5 drinks, she said.
So maybe 6 to 7 drinks a night?
Possibly, but it would be over the span of like, you know, the entire night.
So Kiki clearly over the limit. She's clearly over it. And so Dr. Allie, you know, asks like, hey, is there a root of this problem? And Kiki says that she lost her mom about a year ago, and since then that's basically when she's been, you know, upping on the alcohol, you know, and basically like self-medicating, you know what I mean, with alcohol. So it all starts to make sense. And of course Brandon understands, and Dr. Allie is kind of like, you know, well, maybe, you know, you should seek relaxation from Brandon, you know what I'm saying, like find somewhere else to get this relaxation from. So I'm like, okay, well, that's very well said. Anyway, so Brandon ends up leaving these two to talk, Dr. Allie and Kiki. And Dr. Allie is like, you know, I'm sensing there's something else that you want to talk about, this and that. And Kiki reveals that, you know, she basically still in love with her ex. She's still getting over her ex. Plus, she just broke up with her ex, what, like 4 months ago? And I don't know if y'all remember, but Brandon and her been dating for 4 years. So there's some overlap there. So it makes so much more sense now as to why they never met. Like, you was dating your ex of, I forget, I think they were dating for 8 years or something. I don't know. It was for a while. And you wouldn't go see Brandon because you was dating him? And this boy ended up cheating on you, having kids on you? Like, girl. And obviously Brandon don't know. So we see, obviously, like, this cast just, like, got way too many secret lies. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
To die down, I think it's something we can work past. Okay. Honestly.
How you gonna get past that, girl? Clavassier number 2? Like, she sounded just like him. I'm gonna tell him in the right time. Girl, bye. Just too many liars. Too many liars. Too many people lying. Anyway, so later on that night, they all go on a Topgolf date, which is cute or whatever. You know, I always wanted to go to Topgolf. I never been, but listen. But anyway, they go to a Topgolf date, and Irvin and Alicia, they have this weird ass moment. Like, it's so weird.
I can't dance.
No, I haven't said you can dance. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
Say a word.
Right.
And when I see that, I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe this girl does have a hard exterior. Maybe she is a little defensive. Like, maybe she's just not ready to open up. I don't... Man didn't say a word. He didn't say a damn word. Like, what? She weird. They do not know. Y'all need to go. Y'all just need to leave. And then while they're there, Tati decides to call out Clavassier about lying about eating meat.
So Jay told me yesterday that you was asking her to make you food and it had meat in it, but you specifically told me that you were eating vegan yesterday. You're like, oh babe, you seen everything that I ate.
And what I don't like is he over here starts basically trying to make her feel stupid, gaslight her, making her feel stupid, or justify why he lied about it. Like, what? And that's what fuckboys do. That's what they do. So I'm just like, what? Anyway, he does not even end up apologizing to her. He does not end up apologizing to her, and that's just kind of bad.
Baby, I don't gotta lie to you.
But you did. But you did.
And then we see Jamie Foxx and Charlie. They go in the boom boom room, do whatever. So next day, Clavassier actually does apologize to her.
What I really want to apologize for is, like, I was eating things that were not vegan, and it wasn't in front of you. So it's like I was doing it behind your back.
Exactly. No, he basically charms his way. That's how I see it. He charms his way back into her good, onto her good side. But he still fails to let her know that he got a kid. He has a newborn daughter. Anyway, you see Ty, he's barbecuing for everybody, right? And, you know, like I said, Brittany was talking about, like, he never really pays attention to her. He's always paying attention to the dudes, you know, like, look what I can do, you know, always trying to impress everybody else and not isn't really paying attention to her. And they ended up arguing at each other, like, across, I think it was across the pool. It looked like it was across the pool or close to the pool. Anyway, they were yelling at each other, right? Having an argument in front of everybody.
You don't ask me what I want to eat. You ain't been doing nothing that you said that you were going to do.
I can't do nothing right around this.
Don't look like it.
Because apparently, I guess Brittany asked Ty, like, hey, can you bring me a drink first, you know, before, you know, put the food out or something like that. And he goes, you know, okay, I'll do that, but I'm gonna grab the pasta first. You know, I'm gonna take care of everybody else first before I get you a drink, pretty much. Something along the lines of that. And she had an issue with that. And I'm just like, y'all are there to get to know each other. How you giving the dudes more attention than you giving her? That makes no sense to me. Like, one thing I don't like is a dude who's just like a bro dude. Like, he just wants to be around his guys all the time. Like, granted, like, I'm not a super clingy person, but I'm gonna need you to want to be around me more than you want to be around your friends. I'm just saying. Like, what is going on here? Do you like me? Are you sure? Like, is this a facade? Like, so nobody asks anything? Like, yeah, I'm gonna need you to show me some attention. You know, I'm gonna need you to want to be around me more than your dudes. Like, come on. So basically, at this point, I feel like every couple arguing, really. I mean, except for maybe Chris and Alexis, you know, and obviously Cinco and Jay. But you know, that's because they tall. You know, we tall. I'm a tall girl, so you know, we be above all that shit. And I'm just playing. Anyways, let me know what y'all thought about this messy ass episode. Once again, I will see y'all next time for episode 5.